Batman wears a bat suit, making him a furry. If God is flat in Marvel, then there may be roundless God theorists, just like how we have flat earthers. If you're under 18 and you break in a mall while naked, security camera feed needs to be deleted, as it is considered child pornography. While computer graphics are trying to get out of the uncanny valley, Instagram models seem to be trying to get into it. Donating money to church to get into heaven is pay to win. Jeopardy needs to have actual jeopardy in it. Get a question wrong and Alex Trebek gets to whack you with a bat. The oldest 90s kid is 29 years old while the youngest is 19 years. If fake having a mental illness, you will probably get diagnosed with a mental illness for faking mental illnesses. If dust particles can make sounds or maybe even scream, vacuuming will old been lots of fun. Roller coasters are weird. You trick your body into thinking you're gonna die, just so it will release some feel-good juice when you don't. Not drinking water while feeling a little thirst until it becomes a big thirst is like saving health packs in games until your life is in danger. Belly buttons are a hot topic for kids, in or outie. Then you become an adult and never talk about belly buttons again. Water is made of very flammable elements, but it is not flammable. I've got time to kill can be a very normal thing to say and a very menacing thing to say. Somebody named Weird Al, who has 40 or so years in business, has never heard sexual allegations against him. Boomerang is like a frisbee for introverts. Galileo used his first telescope in 1609 and wheel landed on the moon in 1969, 360 years later. VR gaming gets too realistic, or games might actually give people PTSD. Saying that something is cold as hell is ironic. When you're deaf, masturbating is the riskiest thing you can do. Ever coined the phrase "no pun intended" Mr. Golden Opportunity with sorry, that was pun intentional. If dinosaurs were still alive today, we'd probably sell and eat them. Not knowing how to read analog clocks is like old people not knowing how to use phones. Superheroes wearing masks can be easily exposed by a sunburn. It's weird that you used your phone so much, but never see it in your dreams. If mosquitoes evolved so that their bites weren't itchy, then they'd probably have a much higher chance of survival, as we wouldn't bother buying repellents. Non-malaria spreading mosquitoes, obviously. Volleyball is extreme hot potato. We always assume that aliens are smarter than us, but for all we know they could be dumb as shit. Old songs are considered better by many because no one remembers the bad ones. Train kids from a young age to eat airplanes. When you defeat final boss of the game, you became final boss. One day you'll get frustrated at a hiccup, without knowing it's the last hiccup you'll ever have. 1 + 1 becomes 3 without condom. Down-Earth society wouldn't exist if the Earth was flat because it would look from our perspective as it really is, so no one would question it. Life is a very short word but a very long sentence. People that peak in high school usually don't do much afterward because they only became experts at socializing with immature sociopaths. Maybe you get teary-eyed and sad when something brings up old childhood memories because you mourn your child self. This version of you no longer exists. Their cells have long since been replaced. You have little in common with them, and they are effectively dead. Teach a man cannibalism and he can eat for life. Many have summited Mount Everest, but only the oldest person to do so can claim they reached the highest height while standing on the earth. Somewhere, someone is ruining it in a conversation with who could possibly be the love of his life for some fake internet points. Somewhere out there, the scammers are scamming each other. I'm very thankful and happy hospitals exist, but we almost never want to be in one. If pi is infinite, it probably has repeated its first billion digits several times over. People generally are grossed out by the idea of eating anything insect-related. But honey is totally accepted as food, even though it's basically just a goose scooped out of the nest of a swarm of insects. Technically, we're all living inside of skeletons due to our source of consciousness being inside a skull. Sharks are pretty much orcs to dolphins. Everyone considers the pinky promisorily low to your binding, but in reality the punishment for breaking it is having your finger broken. Or if you want to go real old school, chopping the fucker off. Keys on the keyboard you use to type your password are literal keys used to unlock something. You're supposed to yield a yellow light, but you'll most likely speed up instead. Wolverine's claws probably smell really bad. People that were deemed to be intelligent pre-Google are just for having a good memory for facts probably resent the internet. Reincarnation exists and there is no you of someone else's reincarnation. The most unrealistic thing about the TV show Friends is that you get to see your best friends all the time in your late 20s/early 30s. Hot showers are pleasant, cold showers are refreshing, but lukewarm showers just suck. Half naked is usually closer to 80 to 90% naked. Cancer researchers are an entire profession of people working hard every day to put themselves out of a jab. Please don't post your conspiracy crap here. When we are young we drink milk and eat grapes. When we get old we prefer the aged versions which are cheese and wine. We can talk faster in our head than in our actual voice. Mr. Krabs can't masturbate. You wish for something to not exist. It will bring you to a world where it never existed, meaning your wish never was made, taking you back to your original world where you made a wish. Someone has probably gotten a sim you've created upon hitting randomize. If it's sexually transmitted, and if the next generation doesn't have sex with anyone from the before generations, all can be eliminated. Bedtime's best time. Good night. In 10,000 years people will not know what music was like today. Videos of today will make great museum exhibits in the future. The more you weigh, the harder it is for you to get kidnapped. Stay safe, eat cake. Calling //Only is considered weird while baby is normalized. Behind every great man is a woman, and also in front of him, not on the sides. Women are literally all over the place. Without context, whoever is winning a fight usually looks like the bad guy. Karen, who must speak to your manager, haircut is the exact opposite lengths of a mullet. Long in front, short at back minus versus mullet long at back, short front. Most of us have years of old playlists, pictures, and documents on our computers. It's weird to think some reflection of our older selves is frozen on little magnetic discs that we spin real fast. We poison ourselves with alcohol to feel funny. Clone troopers could get away with paternity tests. There might be one person with the exact same interests in you, and he or she might be closer than you think. 100% of people who drink water and breathe air die. #RMRZ. ING. Wheelchair people eat all of their meals in a single sitting. If it weren't for Miss Honey, Matilda, 1996, could have easily been the prequel to Carrie. Nothing about the Los Angeles Lakers minus not the logo, not the mascot, not anything minus is even remotely related to any sort of lake, or anything that would even be on lake. We are lucky that some animals love being petted. Drunk/high rambling is starting a real thought and then hitting the middle button on predictive text. If you were to cut off Mike Wazowski's legs, he would still get decapitated. Car window into sunglasses for cars. Living a lifetime wanting to die, yet being terrified of self-harm feels like an exhausting daily existentialist breakdown. Taking money out of your savings account is stealing from your future self. There will always be a limit to how much you can eat at an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you spell out every number between 0 to 999, you won't find a single R until you reach 1000. Can anything beat that? For consecutive words that lack a certain letter, not possess. Earth is infested with sedentary life forms that consume radiation, communicate telepathically with similar life forms, and spew toxic gas, called plants, for those confused about that. Telepathic. Part. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/Mike or Hazel Network. You could have avoided the life-changing accident by waking up 5 minutes late, and you would have never known. The older generation complains about the younger generation, and even though there is them to be this way, there's people in the world who willingly choose to use one-ply toilet paper. Maybe we're also frightened by tiny bugs because it's a natural instinct when they all carry deadly viruses. Because of the rapidly rising divorce rates, there's probably some kid out there with 8 grandparents. We'll never know if math was either discovered or created by humans. Everyone thinks aliens are way more advanced than we are. Wait for a message from them. They probably think we're way more advanced than them, and so wait for a message from us. So many people have grown up with just a queen that when we think of a king we think of medieval times. Starting to fall asleep and then snapping fully awake like your body briefly going offline to switch to the reserve fuel. Caffeine is the credit card of sleep. If someone did everything in moderation, that wouldn't be very moderate. For some reason lowering down the radio's volume in the car helps you see better while driving. Cracking your knuckles is your joints farting.